So we've struck 2 farming agreements with Santos for 2 permits that they have in the Taroom Trough. One to our immediate north, one to the southwest. And the nature of these farming agreements is that we will pay for some exploration work required under the permits, and in return we will earn a 50% equity interest in each permit. Now we will operate during the farming works, thereafter Santos will operate. So that gives us a long-term joint venture with a very, very strong party, well known to our company, very well established in Queensland, the operator of one of the LNG plants, for instance. Now the commercial details are that in the northern block we will pay for a vertical well. We will drill that in the 3rd quarter of this year. In the southern block in 2026 we'll acquire 200 kilometers of 2D seismic. So relatively modest acquisition costs for what we have now independently certified as being a very large resource. So from our point of view, this is a really, really good deal on multiple fronts. More of our primary acreage, low acquisition cost, great partner who not only adds technical and financial skills, but also pathways to market in the future. So before this, we had about 2.7 TCF or thereabouts of resources, no 1.7, so a lot. We've added enough to round us up to around 3. So an enormously high figure for a junior. So those are discovered resources that are independently certified by an international body. What this play also gives us is access to a slightly more updip part of the Taroom Trough, the same play that we consider Shell has been spending a lot of money in recently. Now going up dip means we're slightly shallower. All things being equal, that means we've got a greater chance of having higher liquids contents, light oil in the gas stream. Now that can add an awful lot to economics, and that'll be a clear focus of our appraisal program later this year. I mean, all up, even with the equity raise here, which obviously requires issuing new shares, this deal is highly accretive. The spend gives each share, old and new in total, access to more resources. So in that sense, although we're issuing more shares, it's strongly accretive and hence really attractive for our shareholders. So there's some things that we will do ourselves, but also a lot of external things. Going to the former first, as I said, we will drill this well in the 3rd quarter of this year, now not that far away. We'll have a shallower well in one of the blocks we acquired last year, paid for by a 3rd party. We expect to announce a deal on that very shortly. That'll be around the middle of the year. The seismic will follow in 2026. Now, externally to us, there's a lot of relevant things. I mentioned earlier Shell's program in this region. That is extensive, and we understand is growing, and we understand that they'll be coming back to drill quite a few more wells towards the end of this year. Now, Shell don't say much about what they're doing. Small juniors like us do, and we're fortunate enough to have a neighbor, Amiga Oil and Gas, who will flow test one of their wells in the next month or so. Now that's enormously relevant to us as well as to them. This is a homogeneous, ubiquitous, unconventional play. If one party gets good results, that de-risks the other party's play. So that's really quite soon, and hence could be highly influential on our share price within quite a short period. Now externally, the overall gas market is in poor shape. Now that, for us as a gas supplier, that's good. And what we could see this winter, if it's cold in Victoria and New South Wales, is real pressure brought to bear on that gas market. And that's just going to lead through to more investor interest, a greater desire for governments to help rather than hinder, and just more eyes on what we are doing. So that external as well as those internal factors, there's a lot coming in 2025. We think our share price is starting from an unfortunate low, but what that does mean is that there's enormous leverage to the upside from here.